Greetings and welcome back to Bible Topics that make you say, hmm. And for some, it might be your first time. So I want to invite you to stay here. I am so glad that you chose to click on this channel. You could be anywhere else, but you are here, and I want you to stay here and keep coming back. On this channel, we make the Bible come alive. We talk about random topics. Sometimes it sounds like a soap opera, child. No doubt you might have come because of our most successful video, which was the influence of Jezebel. Do you have it? This is what we have coming up next. The wicked prince who raped his sister Tamar. Why does Satan hate women so much? What about those pimping preachers? The Battle of Armageddon, an alien invasion? And why didn't Yahweh just kill Satan in lieu of Jesus Christ and save us from this hell? And who is this new false God sending people to hell? Oh, you want to come back? So subscribe, like, share, ring that bell, and comment. You don't want to be left behind. Join us next time on Bible Topics that make you say, hmm. Greetings and welcome back to this next installment of Bible Topics that make you say, hmm. And I'm Robin Sweet Ransom, and I'm so glad that you could join me. So, what do I have in store for you today? I'm glad you asked. So tell me, have you pondered this? Is God disciplining you or punishing you? I like this picture. It says, if I'm suffering, is God punishing me? Are you going through something and you're wondering whether or not God is punishing you or disciplining you? My cousin said to me the other day that she's going through some things and she says, I wonder, is God punishing me? So let's get into it. Hebrews 12, 5 through 8 says, and you have forgotten the exhortation which speaks to you as sons or daughters. My son or daughter, do not despise the chastening of the Lord, nor be discouraged when you are rebuked by him. For whom the Lord loves, he chastens and scourges every son who he receives, or daughter. If you endure chastening, God deals with you as with sons or daughters. For what son or daughter is there whom a father does not chasten? But if you are without chastening, of which all have become partakers, then you are illegitimate, or like they used to say back in the day, you're a bastard and not sons or daughters. Translation, if you belong to God, he's going to chasten you. All right? Let's continue. Hebrews, picking up in 9. Furthermore, we have had human fathers who corrected us, right? And we paid them respect. Shall we not much more readily be in subjection to the Father of spirits and live? For they indeed for a few days chastened us as seemed best to them, but he for our profit, that we may be partakers of his holiness. Now, no chastening seems to be joyful for the present, but painful. Nevertheless, afterward, it yields the peaceable fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. Think about it with your own child. You discipline them because you love them, right? They're your responsibility and you're trying to correct them. However, are you going around the neighborhood disciplining other people's kids? No, why not? Because they're not your responsibility. They're not your children. Same with God. If you belong to him, he's going to spank you from time to time. He's going to discipline you. He's going to chasten you. Why? Because he loves you. And let's talk about punishment. 2 Peter 2. The Lord knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations and to reserve the unjust under punishment for the day of judgment, and especially those who walk according to the flesh in the lust of uncleanness and despise authority. They are presumptuous, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignitaries, but these, like natural brute beasts, made to be caught and destroyed, speak evil of the things they do not understand and will utterly perish in their own corruption and will receive the wages of unrighteousness as those who count it pleasure to carouse or party in the daytime. They are spots and blemishes, carousing in their own deceptions while they feast with you, having eyes full of adultery, and they cannot cease from sin. They can't help themselves. Enticing unstable souls. They have a heart trained in covetous practices, and are accursed children. This is punishment. When you are not God's child, he punishes you. Now, for the world to see, and later in eternity in hell. And sometimes some people, this is the way I look at it. If you continue to get away with all manner of evil, that really lets me know that God does not see you as his child. Because if he did see you as his child, he would discipline you and you would get it together or suffer the consequences of going to hell. And the question does come back to, who's your daddy? Is it Yahweh or Satan? I did this lesson some time ago. I'm going to put a link to the description. Really great lesson. Go check it out, because it really does come down to, who do you belong to as to who God will discipline. Because if you're not belonging to him, he's not going to discipline you. He will punish you, though. 1 John 3 says, little children, let no one deceive you. The one who commits sin is of the devil, for the devil has sinned from the beginning, way back. The Son of God was revealed for this purpose, to destroy the devil's works. This is how God's children and the devil's children are made evident. Whoever does not do what is right is not of God, especially the one who does not love his brother. Everyone who hates his brother is a murderer, and you know that no murderer has eternal life residing in him. John 8:44 says, you belong to your father, the devil, and you want to carry out your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning, not holding to the truth, for there's no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks his native language, for he is a liar and the father of lies. So I asked the question, is God disciplining you or punishing you? Remember, God only disciplines his children, but he punishes Satan's children. So the question comes down to, who's your daddy? And let's distinguish the difference between discipline and punishment, because maybe you're not really clear. Discipline is an act of love and correction. Like when you correct your toddler and say, don't do that, don't touch that. You're trying to keep them from harm. You know, they're trying to reach for something go into the kitchen and reach for a pot on the stove and pull it down and scald themselves, right? I didn't even let my daughter come into the kitchen when she was little. And my godchildren, they already know. They get right to the edge and they stop. Why? Because I've disciplined. I've let them know, don't come in here. Stop it. And discipline doesn't always have to take the form of a spanking. It could be a timeout or whatever. God could be putting you on timeout right now, or he could be spanking that behind. But remember, discipline is not about causing pain or harm. It's about guiding us from harmful behavior. Did your parent ever say to you, oh, when they were spanking you, it hurts me more than it hurts you? I remember my mama said that to me. I'm like, whatever, let's try it out and let's see. I didn't say that. But I never understood that until I became a parent. So it hurts God to have to discipline us, but he'll do it. Why? Because he loves us that much. Now, punishment, let's contrast what that means. Punishment is retribution for wrongdoing, and it is designed to cause pain or harm because it's recompense for your hard-heartedness or your sin. But you know what? If you become God's child, you don't have to suffer the punishment. Jesus suffered for you. Proverbs 3:11 and 12 says here, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves. That's in keeping with Hebrews. As a father, the son or daughter, he delights in. And this says discipline is correction. God's correction is an act of love. Love is never a punishment. Jesus paid it all. Won't you accept Jesus today as your Lord and Savior? Because you know what? Satan, with his kids, he'll say, I'll let you do whatever you want to do. But there is hell to pay for that, isn't it? And sometimes he'll punish his own when they don't do what he wants them to do. Oh, yeah, he'll do that. However, it's not for their good. He just wants to make them more miserable and more compliant. With the Lord, he wants us saved from hell. So he will do all manner of things that keep us from going there. But you know what? If we insist on going to hell, he will open the door and let us walk through, because hell was not made for us. It was made for the demons and Satan. However, if we want to go there, we're welcome to it. But God has done everything to try to keep you from going there, to the point of he sent his son to this earth to die on a cross. And he took on our punishment so we don't have to. I love this. A father's discipline is training for the future. Hebrews 12:2, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him, the joy was seeing us get saved, he endured that cross, despising the shame. He took on all that punishment, and now he is at the right hand of the throne of God, welcoming you to come be with him. And so I don't know what you're going through. And I'm not going to go through all the ways in which punishment or discipline can show up. Just know this: if you belong to Christ, if you're sold out to him and you're going through something brought on by your own foolishness, you're being disciplined. Get it together. And if you're not his, you probably don't even care, but punishment is what's going to happen to you. Maybe happening to you now. And there's this celebrity with all hell is breaking loose in his life right now. He claims he's a Christian and he's been doing some foolishness for 30 years. I dare say that he's being punished, because I'm sure in 30 years, God gave him an opportunity to get it together. God will give you an opportunity to humble yourself privately first. And when he gets on the public scene, that's because you was hard-headed and you weren't listening. All right, so join me next time on Bible Topics That Make You Say,